G'day guys, it's Mark here and welcome to the Iron Empire for the first time since the last time. No, for the first time in 2025, and let me tell you, we're going to introduce you to our latest addition to the Iron Empire fleet, the 1965 Ford Mustang.
Let me be. I've lived long enough to live free. Proud to see you become the man you are. I'm a happy man.
Now, it has been months since our last video, and as you can see, over the Christmas break, I've been building, but not only that, we've been building here too. Now, this is not an excuse, it's just a reason. This is what's been going on in our world, and the videos have been taking a big time backseat. But we're finally here, and the first thing we want to do is talk about this 65 Mustang that we acquired last year actually, and we're finally getting on the channel. Now, the Iron Empire, as you guys may know it, is usually very different cars. We're talking entry-level stuff, super cheap shit, beaters, the bottom of the barrel. And we usually try and get this stuff, turn it into something worth enjoying, and that's how we like to do it. Because basically, it's the way into the market, and it's what we enjoy doing. And I assume that's what you guys like watching. But you know what? We've been grinding for a long time, Andrea and I, and we thought it was time, well, I thought it was time, just to go, you know what, I'm sick of building every single thing I have to drive. I'm gonna splurge, and this is the splurge. Now, rewind really quickly. We had a few years ago a 65 Mustang. This thing had never been on the channel. It was bought from a guy called Kim Cater, who I bought my Javelins from. You guys would have seen those on the channel a few years ago. We'll get back to them later. This Mustang was cool. 65, it was a 6-cylinder automatic. We just slammed it, white walls, tied it up a little bit, but it was a beater, and we freaking love this car. It never reached the road because we had to make some other financial steps, and in order to make that purchase happen, we had to sell some cars, and I had some cars, investment stuff going on, and we sold a few cars, and the Mustang was one of them. Anyway, long story short, ever since that day, every time we see an early model Mustang, Andrea sort of nudges me, gives me a little bit of a dig that we don't have a Mustang anymore. Anyway, this thing popped up, right place, right time. Probably not the right time, but fuck it, let's go. It was time to treat ourselves, buy a car that I didn't have to build, and this is it. All right, now why a 65 Ford Mustang, you might be thinking. It was never really my cup of tea growing up. They seem to be all over the place, stock height, boring, hubcaps, midlife crisis cars. Never really done it for me. But let me tell you what, when they're done right, I love this thing. This thing to drive, this is our new favorite thing to do. We go out for dinner or we'll go for a drive just through the hills. We fucking love this thing. This drives so good. I totally get it. I understand now why it's one of the most popular cars on the planet. Now, this particular car popped up on Marketplace. It was only just around the corner, which is unheard of. Every time you want something or see something you want, it's fucking an hour and a half away. This thing was literally in the next town. I decided to spare the moment, let's go look at this car, and I went over there and I sussed it out, and I knew from the moment I walked up that this was a good car. The guy's property was mint, his shed was unbelievable, there was documentation of the car. The car had been painted 10 plus years earlier, a whole folder of the paint job. Like, this thing, I could just tell. He took me for a spin, and I knew straight away by the way the thing felt. We didn't even have to get down the road. I could already feel, even from the passenger side, that this thing was really, really nice. Now, I like to pull a surprise from time to time, so all this was happening without Andrea knowing. She was at work. I decided that I was going to pull the pin on this car, get the job done. I'd done the deal. Before I'd even picked the car up the following day, I'd already raced down to the tyre shop to put some tyres on the brand new Magnum 500s I already had in stock. I already got a set of lowering blocks for the rear and a cutting disc for the front. And I already had a plan set out before the car even arrived. The very next day I went over there, picked the car up, drove it home, got it in the shed, spent the afternoon on it and got this thing to where it is now. Slammed, red walls, Magnum 500s, and that's all it needed. That is literally all it needed to make this thing look unreal from what it did. It was no good before. Anyway, a little more about the actual car. Now, I don't know the color of the car. It has been resprayed in a non-factory color. The original color was a little bit more greeny, like a turquoisey color. It's factory C code, which is a 289 two-barrel V8 automatic. It's got a console, T-bar shifter. I believe it's factory white interior, which I absolutely love. The white interior on the blue is, in my opinion, the best combo. It looks fucking unreal. It's got power steering, factory style disc brakes on the front of it, and it's got a Wheelwood non-boosted master cylinder. So it drives absolutely beautiful. The steering circle is pretty shit, which I think is is very standard for a power steering car versus the same car without power steering. So it is a bit shit in that respect, but the ease of driving is just totally worth it. This thing is an absolute breeze to drive, and yeah, unreal. Now, what else can we tell you? This thing is literally still running a 2-barrel Holly on it. Now, it actually come with the Fomoco factory, Fomoco? Autolite. Come with a 2-barrel Autolite carby factory one, but what's running on it out now is a Holly 350, and let me tell you, I am not gonna touch it. This thing drives beautifully. You wouldn't know. It's a 289, there weren't powerhouses anyway, and you wouldn't know that this thing's only got 2 barrels because it's got plenty of power on the open road. It pulls as well as it needs to. It still spin the tires taken off the first and second gear. Single pegger, one-legged, but it's all we need. We love it, and I'm not going to change a single thing. It didn't run like that to start with. It was running a little bit hairy. Adam Cow, mate of mine, sorted that out. We ended up doing a carby kit through that, dialed that in, and let me tell you, he has got this thing ticking like a clock. This thing can sit for a month, and couple of pumps on the throttle, turn it, and it will fire and idle beautifully and perfect. I cannot complain. The only one other thing we had to do to this car so far is modify the tailpipes, tuck that up right nice and tight to the body to handle it being 4 inches lower. Of course, most exhaust shops don't care. They do bare minimum, and it was shit back there. It went up over the diff and done the job, but as soon as you lowered the car, diff on exhaust, and that was no good. So we've done that, lopped it off. The tailpipes no longer make it to the back of the car. They just dump behind the diff nice and neat, and that's exactly how it's going to stay. Okay guys, I'm going to keep this short, sharp and shiny. I'm having all sorts of trouble with my camera keeping focus, sound, all sorts of shit going on here. Anyway, what has kept us so busy in the last half of 2024 and why you guys have not seen a lot on the channel is this fucking monstrosity, is our house build. We've finally started building on the land, and we are DIY building. This is owner build, and let me tell you what I mean by owner build. It doesn't mean we are calling up the trade and saying come build my house. We are fucking building this house, and it is on a whole nother level than building a car. We've done everything from concreting in the piers, building the subfloor, framing the house. I'm on the first fix carpentry, installing the windows, installing the doors, cladding the house. This is a massive job, and we are DIYing the whole lot. We've had to outsource a few of the required trades, and I've got the roofing done. I've got the subfloor plumbing laid, and so far that's it. So this is a massive journey, but we're so excited. This is going to be kept probably not regular, but we'll be doing a few updates on this house along with our B&B on our other channel, More Than a House. It has been a long time since we posted on that channel as well, but we are trying get that up and running again. So if you haven't already, jump onto More Than a House and subscribe if you want to do a bit of home stuff. have a look at a bit of home stuff. And yeah, that's going to be it for this time around. Thanks for coming back to the channel, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you all on the next one. Cheers.